Okay, we'll go ahead and get started with our running backs coach and run game coordinators. Coach Norval McKenzie, Rob.
Coach, I guess you feel a lot better about where you are with the running back room now than you did at the end of last season. How nice is it to have that depth there again?
Oh man, it's exciting. Like you mentioned, last year went through a lot of lows in terms of just highs and lows with injuries and whatnot. And now we feel like we got a stable of guys, very confident in those guys, and we have a true depth. We haven't had depth since we've been here, and I feel like through the recruiting process and going into year 3, we're able to add some pieces, and now we feel like we got a really talented room.
Kelly?
You added Shane Marshall to the room since the spring. What does he bring to the table, and what did you like about him to want to sign him?
Well, yeah, so Shane's a bigger back. He's a kid that's probably like 5'10", 200 pounds, and, just through the recruiting process, just really loved, him as a running back, just in terms of his durability, his speed, his power, his burst and acceleration. And so far since he's been here, he's been able to demonstrate that too in the off-season conditioning, which sometimes, you're sitting there like, okay, what's going to happen? Like when you get him, what's going to happen? And so right now he's checking every single box and very excited about him as an addition to the room.
How's Trey doing? I know he's been through a lot since he's been here, but how's he doing this fall?
Man, Trey's doing really well. I thought he had a great spring. Anytime you're coming from an injury, it's always the mental piece. I think he's over that hurdle now mentally, and physically, he's a specimen, right? I think he received an Iron Jacket this summer, just in terms of what he done in the weight room. He's big, he's strong, he's powerful, and he's going to get a lot of experience this season. And we're excited about him, and we're excited about the growth that he's taken from the first day he's been here until now.
Jackson.
There's a lot of coaching continuity on the offensive side of the ball with you back, Coach Faulkner, and everybody else. Like, what does that mean for your room and just the offense as a whole and what y'all can do this year?
I just think, as a coach, we're always trying to grow. So in this off season, we're going to study other teams and try to add to what we do offensively. But the continuity is there, like you mentioned. Coach Winkie, myself, Coach Wade, Coach McKnight now in year 2. So, a lot of familiarity, excuse me with that word, with each other, right? And so, man, we're so excited to work together every single day. There's really no egos in the room. There's a lot of energy in the room. Coach Faulkner does a lot of good things in terms of giving us autonomy to come up with plays or whatnot. And, whether he uses them or not, he does give us the opportunity to, kind of share in on the game plan or whatnot. So, man, it's been tremendous the first 2 seasons, and looking forward to us to continue to build this thing in year 3.
What are you looking from the 2 freshmen, in order to get in the mix this year?
It's kind of hard to say right now what I'm looking for. I think the biggest thing is, like I tell these guys all the time, you just got to go out there and compete, right? Go out there and compete. When your number's called, you got to earn it. You got to show us that we can put you in there, and in protection, you know who you have in protection. You know what routes to run when we call certain concepts. You're a willing blocker in pass protection. And then when you get your numbers called, when the ball's in your hand, how productive are you? Can you win in space? When there's nothing there, can you create things of that nature? And I think right now, those 2 guys are extremely talented. I think the room is talented, like I mentioned earlier. So there's a lot of competition in the room. I think because we have so much competition in the room, it's going to just elevate everybody's play, which I'm excited about.
Malachi got a little banged up in spring, didn't get a chance to see him all the time, but what have you seen from him then, and then learning the offense over the summer more and taking that into camp?
Yeah, so Malachi's a smart kid, obviously coming from Penn, so he doesn't struggle from a mental standpoint. In addition to that, he's an experienced player because he played 2 seasons there. Did get banged up in spring. However, did good in the offseason. We got an unbelievable strength staff, unbelievable, athletic team or whatnot, and they got him back. And he's done what he needed to do to get back. And so extremely excited about him as an addition to the room as well. Has a really good skill set. We saw that last year when he decided to hit the portal, and you watch PFF and you start recruiting guys and say, can they fit in our offense? And felt like he has the tools to be successful here.
talk a little bit about Gordon's journey, what he's done to get to the point where he was rewarded this year.
So Dalen, unbelievable kid, high character kid. Truthfully, sometimes when you look at leadership, it can be vocally, it can be by example. He's a kid that leads by example and always smiling. I don't know if Dalen ever had a bad day, and he brings people along. And, you need guys like that. And I think that, how he'll be rewarded is by having a package in a role this year. And I think not only in addition to special teams, we're looking forward to him having a role offensively. He does have a good skill set. He's a team guy. And so, man, guys like him, they're going to be successful. And I'm looking forward to his success this season.
Jamal's obviously starting to get some recognition nationally, one of the top returning running backs in college football. What does he need to do to kind of kick it up to the next level to position himself both to have a great season, but also maybe professionally as well?
Yeah, I think like you mentioned, so he's going to be on every award, right? Preseason award. The biggest thing is, I would say he's taking this off season a different manner in terms of head down and working. Which has been good to see. This offseason was probably his best offseason, had a really good spring, and now the summer did well also, okay? And so he's in a position how he can get better is by the rest of the room being better. There's been times over the past 2 seasons where he's had to play more snaps than he should have played. Last year, he battled the entire season with injuries. So I'm excited about the rest of the room to continue to compete, to be able to spell him when he needs it. For me to be able to trust those guys in certain situations, not to always feel like I have to put Jamal in the game, but another back can go in the game. And so we're excited about that offensively as well. In terms of what he could probably get better at, if there was one thing that we've talked about, I would say pass protection, and not that he's not a willing pass protector, but just in terms of technique, right? And so we always want to hone in on the fundamentals, and he's taking it a step further just to ask the questions, okay, how did that look? What did I need to do better? We actually watched film this morning of some previous running backs I coached in the past. That was his stature of how they blocked. And so, he's in a growth mindset right now too, and just in terms of how can I get better. He knows that he gets better, we get better.
Who were some of those backs that you watched?
So there was one main back that we watched this morning, okay, and there was a kid that I coached at Arkansas State named Warren Wan. And Warren Wan was probably 5'5", 183 pounds, but will strike you, okay? Will literally strike you. And so I was going through my 2018 cut up and was just pulling plays and watched it with the guys this morning. And the biggest thing what he did was he had the mentality that I'm gonna be physical, right? Even though he was a smaller cat, and use his leverage, all right, to be successful, right? So fundamentally, I showed that to them because sometimes telling isn't teaching, right? You got to show, and then you got to go out there and actually do. And so they loved it, and I thought that we actually did better today in pass protection because of it. So,
Anything else? Kelly, go our episode. Sure.
I'm going to ask you about the two guys we haven't mentioned so far. Obviously, Chad's banged up, will be out for a little while. Just kind of how do you approach that with him and keep his head up? And then JP, just kind of how he's developing and what you've seen the growth from the spring with him.
Right. So Chad, great kid. A lot of times when kids go through injuries, they get down on themselves. He's working even harder, right? And so we don't know where he's going to be back, but I would tell you right now he's in a great mental headspace. He's in every meeting. If I call on him, he has the correct answer every single time. He's at all the walkthroughs. He's really engaged right now. He's putting on weight. I think he's the heaviest he's ever been here and looks really, really good. And so he has the mindset that he's getting back, right? Whether it's September, October, November, whenever, he's getting back and is going to be a really great addition to have back into the room. As you know, he had a great season for us last year in his reps, so we're fired up about him getting back. When we transition to JP, I think JP is, I don't want to say it negatively, but he's light years ahead of where he was in spring, just from a, acclimation part, right? So as a freshman, sometimes you struggle in spring because everything's new to you, right? And so at times, when you're mid-year, that's the advantage, right? And so now you move forward, and we're 7 months from when he's gotten here, all right? And so there's a lot of growth in terms of understanding the playbook, understanding the standards at the running back position, knowing how to practice. He's naturally gifted, so, there's just fine-tuning things here and there. But there's been tremendous growth in him from January till today.
Okay. Coach, thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all.
Appreciate it very
Appreciate
much.
y'all. Y'all have a great one. All right.